What's a druid?
A druid. Oh, you want to talk about druids first? Yeah, I need this. I need these questions.
Are we gonna get there?
No, let's start with it. I have it
What's
all. I have it all outlined out for any questions you had.
what's a druid?
So druids, there's like three in these Celtic Gallic peoples, and there's many of them over hundreds of years, and so they change dramatically, right? And so that's an issue that we can just accept. But we can say that there are like three classes besides like warrior, standard, like peasant stuff, and that is the bards. They loved their bards because they didn't write a lot of their stuff down. They did write some down, more than I thought, but like sacred texts couldn't really be written down, at least as far as we know. So there are bards. Bards are super important. We'll talk about bards in a little bit. There are the vats or the vates, and they are kind of in charge of like natural phenomena. So like they're just kind of helping people like this sulfur is that I don't know, like reading signs and shit like that. But then there's these druids, and these druids are crazy. They are like these religious, political scholar type people. They're the most, in my mind, the most learned of the group. And what's interesting is a lot of them are women, or at least some of them are women. They're never portrayed as women in like modern takes on this
Dude,
shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, either did I. But reading through this, they're like, no, they're women, and they're fucking metal. Like some of these women priest things, like there's an island that they say is all women, and they're like all like druid women. And
Is it like a bunch of goth girls?
oh wait, so they like
Oh wait.
every year they tear down like their temple and they rebuild it. And if you fall down carrying like the wood to it, they cut you open and like they just and they said that's not the bad part. The bad part is they're prone to tripping each other. Like, ooh, it's intense.
So, okay. So a druid, it's saying here on the internet
Sure.
that a druid was a member of the high-ranking class in ancient Celtic cultures. Druids were religious leaders as well as legal authorities, adjudicators, lore keepers, medical professionals,
Yep.
and political advocates.
I would say all that's true. And
That's a lot of things.
it's hard too because just like the Roman Empire, the Celtic people and the Gallic people, hundreds of years, right? Like we're talking a huge history, and so it's hard to classify these groups in these
Yeah.
time periods. But I did through this reading was able to like parse out like as early as the second century BC, which is ours is like 50 BC is when our story's taking place. This is accurate. Like these people are known for this.
Okay. Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do we have druids still to this day?
I wouldn't say like we did then.
What would you call them? What would be the today's equivalent of a druid?
It's hard. I think it depends on the context. Like, there's no druid complete. Like, there's no full druid. But like the hippie putting a flower into a gun, kind of like a druid,
That's
because
cool.
the druids have been known to run out between two Gallic people about to fight, stand in the middle, and then they both stop because
It's a metal move.
these dudes are intense. The Gallic Celtic people are fucking fierce warriors. And they respect the druid so much that if a druid went out and started shouting, they're like, that motherfucker's casting a spell. And they all just stop. And they're like, sorry, didn't know we weren't allowed to fight right now. And they will stop fighting. And it's fucking nuts because these people are notoriously like hot-headed when it comes to fighting.
This is crazy. I mean, I'm seeing so many different.
Wait, I have the quote.
Tell
It
me.
has often happened that just as two armies approached each other with swords drawn and spears ready, the druids will step between the two sides and stop the fighting, as if they had cast a spell on wild beasts. Thus, even among the wildest barbarians, anger yields to wisdom, and the god of war respects the muses. It's dope.
That is dope.
Also, for fans of like Midsummer and Wicker Man, so these religious festivals, especially for spring festivals,
Yeah.
they would definitely build enormous figures that would fill with living people and then
Oh.
catch it on fire.
Brings a whole new definition to Burning Man.
Burning
am I
Man,
right?
let's bring Burning Man back to its roots.
Yeah, is that like what is that where they get that whole Burning Man thing? Like, is that where the name comes from?
I don't know. But why
They
is
don't know what
Burning
they're
Man always
doing.
like the first week of college coming back?
I don't know, dude.
Never could go. Never could go.
don't talk to me about Burning Man, dude. I don't. For some reason, I don't have a lot of like, man, I really want to go to Burning Man. Like
Okay,
it's in the middle of the desert.
I have a little bit more on their religion based off of what we're talking about. Druids, right?
Yeah.
How is like their religious practices followed? So this is a quote. The Gauls all say that they are descended from the god of the dark underworld, Deus, and confirm that this is the teaching of the Druids. Because of this, they measure time by the passing of nights, not days.
That's dope.
That's dope.
That sounds like Magic the Gathering.
Yes, it does sound like Magic the Gathering.
Okay.